In this episode, we are going to uncover how to tap into your sexual energy, bring your entire body online in a sexual state, and even use this as a means to build and manifest what you really desire. Because here's the truth. Sex is not limited to feeling good in your body or connected with somebody. Sex can be so much more if you want it to be. And so for the bold and curious, sex gets to be a place to step into a higher state of awareness, connection, and is actually a tool to manifest what you ultimately want. So if you think about it, sex is a form of creation, right? By having sex, you are potentially creating an entire new life. And I want to ask you, why limit sex to just creating a baby? You can use this energy, you can use this state of being, this physical experience, and really create anything. More money in your life, more success in your jobs, more new opportunities, a romantic partner, a brand new car, whatever. You can leverage your sexual power to truly create anything. Welcome back to The Naked Connection. This is the show for driven men to reach sexual mastery and build deep connections. What's up, you guys? It's Kirsten, your soon-to-be licensed sex therapist. And this episode is truly a treat. I've been wanting to do this for a while because we're about to talk about sex magic, which is one of my favorite practices. I do it literally all of the time, and I'm so stoked to share it with you all right now. And when it comes to sex magic, you may or may not have heard of this before. It might be something that's new to you. You may have heard about it in a spiritual sense, in a tantric sense, and in a various different ways. And I'm actually going to break down the steps of engaging in this practice and also explain why, on a neurological level, this practice actually supports you in building more, in creating more, and in visualizing and manifesting more of what you want. I actually learned this practice when I was studying Tantra. I did a prolonged program of studying sex and relationships from a tantric lens. And while I was in this space, I learned this sex magic practice from my teacher, Layla Martin. She is truly amazing, and I want to accredit her for all of the magic, pun intended, that she puts out into the world. So yes, this sex magic practice does come from a spiritual background within a tantric lens and also within traditional Celtic Druid practices in Europe. So it's kind of from all over the world. And you don't have to necessarily connect with the spiritual side of this to benefit. You know, it's like you don't have to be a Huberman fanatic to benefit from the sunlight. You don't have to be a professional football player to benefit from throwing a football around in the backyard. The same is true here. You don't have to necessarily be a devout spiritual practitioner to benefit from the power of sex magic practices. And I have included in the show notes here a step-by-step guide with an additional audio practice for you to follow along on your own with this. So know that that's there for you. Okay, you guys, let's get into it. So sex magic is a practice that you can, yes, do with a partner, but right now I'm going to dive into doing this practice on your own. And I'll get into all of the steps to this, but I want to start off by sharing that in order to engage in this practice, you really want to be in a state of turning yourself on. And you can turn yourself on systematically where you're going to be moving the sexual energy, the connection to your sexual power throughout and up your body. So in the tantric practices, this looks like connecting with all of the chakras and resonating with the different frequencies within each chakra. And we'll actually work with moving through and spiraling up through the chakras, starting from your root all the way to the crown of your head. And you'll slowly be moving this sexual energy and converting it into really a sublime energetic state. Another way to look at this is to really turning your entire body on. So if you don't necessarily resonate with chakras in this sense, just think about connecting with the different physical areas of your body. So we're not just turning on your cock, but you're breathing into the pleasure of your belly, of your hips, of your heart, of your throat. Like, what does it feel like to feel energy, to feel pleasure in your throat, in your chest, in your solar plexus? So we have talked in previous episodes about actually pulling pleasure up and into your body to really actually prolong the state until you reach orgasm. But this is going to be pulling that pleasure up and through your body to not only prolong the pleasure, but to expand what's possible, to expand the pleasure throughout all of you. So instead of just focusing all of the energy and all of the pleasure on your cock or on your balls, on your penis, you will be slowly activating pleasure throughout your entire body. So the very first step of sex magic is to actually decide what you want. So you want to create a clear vision of your desire. And I like to do this by going through a 5 senses reality. So stepping into a very clear vision, almost like a snapshot in time of you having this desire. And then walking yourself through, what does this desire actually look like? What am I seeing around me as a result of having this desire? What does it feel like physically, emotionally when I'm living in the state of this desire being true? What does it sound like? Maybe there's sounds in the background. Maybe there's music playing. Maybe you're in a place where someone's saying certain things to you or you're saying certain things. Like, really, what are the sounds of living in this snapshot of time of you having your desire right now? Then also exploring, what does it taste like? What does it smell like? What scents are in the air? Maybe it's a perfume, a cologne, food, coffee, flowers, whatever it is. What are you smelling and tasting? Because when you activate all of your senses, you're bringing yourself fully into your desire. So get really clear on what you want. And then the second step is to set your intention. So make a clear declaration, almost like a proclamation that this is your desire. And you can do this out loud. You can do this internally, but get very clear and set the precedent so that you know, so that your energy, your body, your mind, everything around you knows this is what you want. And that also, it's really important here to set the intention and connect with knowing that it is in alignment with your highest good and within the highest good of all. The third step is to create an intentional space. So this practice can be a ritual if you want it to be. If you want to really connect with a spiritual essence within yourself. Maybe you have a spiritual practice that you're aligned with, or maybe you just want it to feel more intimate, more special than a general pleasure practice or general masturbation session. Setting the intention, setting the in space, and getting really intentional about it. But honestly, I will say, you can do this practice anywhere. You can do it on the toilet, you can do it in the shower, you can do it on the floor of your bedroom. You can do it anywhere. I offer this in case it is something that you want to become more intimate with. So the fourth step is to now actually turn on your body. So you're going to beginning to turn yourself on. And this could look like stroking your cock, feeling your body, touching yourself, massaging yourself, whatever you desire to really begin to not only feel sexual turn on, but just to be turned on to the present moment and the sensations in your body. And know that your turn on, it can look a lot of different ways. You can get really primal, you can be really strong in it, or you can choose to be in a really loving, compassionate state. Whatever feels the most pleasurable for you, do it, right? So beginning to turn yourself on. Then you're going to move into step 5, which is where you start to move your turn on, move this energy. So once you're turned on with your sexual energy, you're going to begin to spiral this energy up through your body, right? So just to explain this a little bit to you, if that sounds bizarre or weird, take a moment right now and actually pause whatever it is that you're doing, wherever you are, and feel the palm of your hand. and just connect with actually recognizing what are the sensations. You probably are going to feel a little tingling, and recognize that the more aware you become of your palm, the more you begin to feel it. And the more you might even notice that that tingling has the power to move within your hand. Maybe you notice it more in a thumb, maybe you notice it more at the base of your palm, wherever that is. So that is kind of the same essence of what you're going to do when you're stepping through this process and actually moving your energy. So now we're getting into really the depths of this practice. So once you have this power and this energy spiraling within yourself, you're connected, you're turned on, you're hard, you're aroused, you're ready to go. You're going to systematically move one chakra at a time up through your body, starting from your root. So you're going to start with your root, which would really be connecting with your perineum. So that space between the root of your balls and your ass. And you're going to focus in on your perineum space. For women, that would actually more be located in your cervix. So looking at the root of your body and actually just beginning to feel the pleasure there. Maybe as you're breathing in, as you're touching yourself, breathing in not only to your cock, but also into your perineum. And then you're going to slowly begin to move that up into your sacral chakra, or thinking about your body, your abdomen, your lower abdomen, your hips, maybe even the head of your penis. So moving that through your sacral space within your body, up through your solar plexus. So your navel, I like to think of it as the space just below the rib cage. Then moving it up into your heart, up into your throat, your third eye, the space between your eyebrows, and then up through the crown of your head. So you're going to slowly spiral this energy, this turn on, and you're pulling it up and throughout your entire body. Then the seventh step is where you're going to step into experiencing peak pleasure. This is where things start to get really, really fun, right? So you're going to rotate the energy through the crown of your head or through the top of your head. You have, at this point, really brought online and activated your entire body. So you're really feeling alive. Allow yourself in this state to experience peak pleasure. So this could be an orgasm. It doesn't necessarily have to be, but if you feel like you're in a state to orgasm, go for it. And when you do this, you want to send all of this energy, all of this turn on, all of this pleasure, all of this orgasmic essence, all the way throughout your body. And you're actually going to visualize, you're actually going to pull back in this visualization that you released. So back when you set that intention, back when you set that desire, you're going to pull that vision back into your mind, into your body. So while you're literally orgasming, pull back in that desire that you have. Feel the reality of it and really feel it coming true. So as you're in this peak orgasmic state, begin to visualize again, begin to feel, hear, see, smell your desire. And then this is the eighth step. As this vision is moving through, as you're really like living alive in this orgasmic state, allow the energy to fall onto your body. So you can even, I like to envision it like I've sent all of this energy up into the world and now it's raining down on me, kind of like raindrops or snowflakes, whatever it is. It's dripping back down onto me. And when you're visualizing this energy falling back down onto you, all of your power, all of your sexual energy falling onto you, back into you, really feel your manifestation like deep in your bones. Like really feel that it's like seeping into the core of your body. And what you're essentially doing here is that you're actually taking, how do I want to say this? The part of your brain that has this goal, this desire, and you're opening up your primal and your limbic system to being in alignment with your goal. So you're activating your entire nervous system to be in a matched state for your desire. And you're doing it by bringing on these five senses, by moving through that five senses reality. And you're also doing it by heightening and opening up your entire body. So this isn't just connecting, like you're not just jerking off thinking about what you want. Your entire body is connected with what you want. And as you move the energy, as you move your turn on and you focus through each part of your body, you're really, in essence, creating alignment, activation, and integration with what you desire. Then the ninth step, as you've really moved through all of this, is that you're going to allow yourself to relax. So move into that refractory period and simply be. Like, bask in the essence of feeling everything unfolding after that orgasm, after that peak state. You might want to take notes about something. Maybe you want to write something down. Whatever is that comes up for you, just enjoy it. Be with it. Now, a lot of people stop here. They put their clothes back on, they go about their day, they forget about it. If you want to take this even further, I would offer a 10th step, which is to take action. So let's say that if your desire was to get a new car, immediately pick up the phone and make an appointment at the dealership. If your desire was to find a romantic partner, contact someone. If you're on dating apps, contact someone that you've been talking to. Go out into the world and just engage with people. Go to the grocery store and talk to a few people. Even if it's not someone you're necessarily romantically interested in, just like take that action to put yourself in a state of meeting somebody. If, let's say, that your desire is to get a new client in your business or to get a new project at your job, do something that moves that needle. Like, actually take action. Don't just live in your mind, because what's really interesting is that when your mind and body are in this state right after an orgasm, it's actually a lot easier to take action. And by taking action, you're further solidifying the desire that you have. I like to think about it like you've set this desire and now you're telling the entire world, no, I actually mean business here. Like, I am willing to move forward. So let's think about why this works. Why does sex magic actually work? And this is where I geek out about the science, about the neurology, about our brains and our bodies, and just the world in general. During an orgasm, during a peak state, they've done a bunch of studies looking at fMRIs and PET scans and have found that when a man or a woman is in an orgasmic state, there are 30 different brain regions that are actually activated. And all of these brain regions are interestingly not necessarily related to one another. The hypothalamus is online. The limbic system is online. The prefrontal cortex is online. So your brain is fully functioning. And what's interesting is that in this state, they found that pain tolerance increases. So there was this really interesting study where women were masturbating and they actually found that their pain tolerance went up 50%. They did a test of, I think it was pricking their fingers, and found that women in an orgasmic state and just thereafter were able to tolerate 50% more pain than an unorgasmic woman. So why do we care about pain tolerance? Well, if you think about it, whatever it is that you really desire likely involves taking some kind of risk. It takes you going out and stepping beyond a fear or a limitation that you have. So when you're in an orgasmic state or just thereafter, your capacity for pain is a lot higher, which is why taking that action step is really powerful. It makes it a lot easier to get the momentum rolling because you're not in this state of pain, you're not in this state of fear, and now you've taken that action. You kind of can't really undo that, right? So let's say that outside of sex magic, you are doing a visualization. You're just sitting there at your office thinking about something that you want. But you might find that these thoughts creep in of, oh, but I can't have that, or, oh, like something's going to go wrong. That's not actually going to happen. It won't actually work. All of these risk potentials start creeping in. Well, this is not likely to happen when your brain is in that orgasmic state because you're really in a blissful experience and your brain is heightened in a new way. So this fear response is lowered and you can step into that visualization more fully. And what's really, really wild about our brains is that they don't necessarily have the capacity to understand something that is a vision versus a reality. And this is where manifestation from a scientific perspective is really interesting because mental imagery actually activates the same neural pathways as physical experiences. So again, meaning that what our brains can perceive as truth and reality is really muddy, which I just think is insane, right? This means then that by visualizing your goals, visualizing what you want, you're actually preparing your mind to attain it and to believe that it's tangible. Believe that you can actually have what you want. And one thing that I love as a prior competitive athlete is comparing an orgasmic state to a flow state. So flow state is kind of, I like to think of it as the experience of being completely absorbed in something that is an enjoyable task where your attention is completely held within it. And when you're in flow state, you generally lose a sense of time. You even kind of lose a sense of self-consciousness, and you're so immersed in what is in the task at hand, let's say. That's ultimately what's unfolding when you're having an orgasm, right? Like your sense of time is gone. You're likely not thinking about other tasks. You're fully immersed in this enjoyable moment. And the more you can live in a peak state, the more you can live in a flow state, the more I believe, I'm not saying this is science, the more that I believe you become more alive to life. And the more alive to life we are, the more we can call into the world. So, and for yourself. So when you combine all of this, it makes sense why on a practical level, this ancient practice of sex magic can be so powerful, and why it's been practiced for hundreds and hundreds of years. So your body is online. Your body is in a heightened state of pleasure, and your orgasmic nature is transforming your brain state and your brain chemistry, and you're literally wiring yourself for that which you desire. Our sexual capacity is so rad and I love it so, so much. And, I also want to share when we're talking about sex magic that while what we shared today is what I consider to be a hot practice, you can do this cold. So hot is using sexual energy, sexual turn on. Cold is the absence of the sexual energy. So it's you connecting to yourself, you moving within yourself. You can simply do it by breathing. It doesn't have to have a sexual, sensual element to it. It can be cold. And I'll share, I had this really crazy experience where I was at a tantric retreat in Costa Rica. I'm in this room with 100+ other women, and we were being guided actually through a sex magic practice, but it was a cold practice. So we're basically simply almost like in a breath work meditation class. And we moved through the same process, but just connecting to the moment, connecting to our body, connecting to what we felt in the present moment. And as I dropped in more and more to just moving my breath and moving what I felt was with me, it's a weird way to say it, but literally by doing this process and moving all of my awareness throughout my entire body, I entered into a state of bliss that I can't even fully yet articulate in words. And it lasted for, I want to say 20 to 30 minutes. Like there was truly like an orgasmic, blissmic state that was flowing through my body for almost half an hour. And I'm not crazy. Like I do a lot of these practices quite often, but I'm not like a tantra guru or anything like that. So I'm sharing this because I know that by doing this practice, you can enter into really beautiful states, whether you're manifesting, whether you're visualizing, whether you're with someone, whether you're alone, whether you have an orgasm or not. Like it's a really powerful way to, I think, connect to yourself and connect to your body. So have so much fun with this. Try some sex magic. Use the guide in the notes, and please let me know how it goes. I want to know what you're creating. I want to know what you're experiencing. I want to know what comes from playing around with and really exploring the power of your sexual energy and your sexual turn on. Until next time, let's get some. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of The Naked Connection. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss another episode. Trust me on this, your sex life and that special someone in your life will thank you for it. And if you really love the show, please take a moment and leave a 5-star review or a written review and let me know what you think. It would mean so much to me and this show. Until next time, happy connecting.